The movie, like I said from the beginning, was fair. It was all right. It's just they didn't. The director or whoever the publishers was didn't do enough research. Actually, how the Curry family acted or how the Curry family should have portrayed in the movie, basically. And you got to look at that was back in the '80s, so the style was probably quite kind of up to date. The way back in the '80s, the style with the fur coats and stuff like that. The style was pretty decent. The limousine, when I went to Vegas, I don't think they showed us really actually driving too many cars in the film that they had, but when we pulled up at the Vegas trip, they had the limousine picking me up and all that stuff, so that was pretty much good. Yeah, I knew his father, Matthew, played in the father role. He played a pretty decent role in the father's. It's like when Don was telling me, hey, you ain't no different too much. Look at you, you was a drinker and how you treated mama. That's how mama left, the way he had treated, but he played a pretty decent part in the movie. All the characters played pretty decent at what they was given. Look at like, if I'm given a script or whatever to do, I'm only going after what my producers or my directors asking me to do, so I have to play that role. Now, if I could have played a more role and got a little more acknowledgement from the person that I was actually portraying, then it would have been a whole different thing, but they only could go off what they was given to them. Jonathan, I think Jonathan played a decent part. Matter of fact, he played a real decent part as far as Hollywood. You gotta look at this series as a Hollywood thing. Everybody go around saying he didn't look like you. You're not gonna find that. This is all about Hollywood. So he played a decent part. He was younger, about my age and stuff like that at that particular time. So I think he played a decent part for what they was given to him to play. You know, they only get so much. And then when I talked to him, he said the same thing. He wish he would have had the director or him or anybody would have came to me, then they would have got a different, brighter, bigger view of what the Curry family was about. I talked to him that night that they gave their premiere out in, I think it was Ontario. Canada. Canada. He called me and we had a few minutes. Matter of fact, we talked about 10 or 15 minutes over the phone through Sean Reese, the guy that did the documentary. So he talked to me. He was fair about it. He understood everything, and he was saying that he would love to meet me. And if he ever gets to Detroit, he definitely want to meet the real Johnnie Curry that he portrayed. His character was fair. His character was decent. I mean, he's played in other movies before. His character, Jonathan Majors, decent role. He played a real decent role in it. Almost like a real thing. He played a decent role. I think she was mad about the money because she had figured they did all this and she didn't get a dime, like she said. She was mad about actually they didn't pay her. So I would have been upset too, but she still should have had all that in writing or some type of lawyer that she should have had to set this all up. That would have been a lot accurate than the way she did it. She went off on the director, but the director, I don't know how they discussed it. Was it Rick or the director or Rick gave them all the information that they needed, and they didn't need her, just like they did a lot on my situation. They played like the part that they only was given to, from what they could gather from public information or from Rick, or just, the scenes of the case when you can go on Channel 4 down to the news station, library, and get stuff on us. So it's all a lot of this public information. And then you got some of the stuff that's wrong. A lot of it is wrong. When it came to the Vegas trip, that was totally wrong. The Vegas trip, I had tickets for the Vegas trip like a month in advance because I had to prepay for my limousine to pick me up at the airport. We stayed in Tropicana Hotel. I had that already paid for, everything. So I don't know the part that they played about, but like I said, it's Hollywood, so they had to do their thing. But we was into the fight. Me and my wife was we might have been third row into the fight. It wasn't but 3 rounds. It was the quickest fight I ever went to that fast. But we was actually in the fight. Like I was mad, like as though I didn't get tickets. We had our tickets like a month, maybe 2 months in advance already. I had already prepared. Matter of fact, I flew in by myself. Rick didn't fly in with me either. Now I figured probably a few agents or somebody would have been on the plane, or if they came later, but they was there. But I didn't see Rick or Don at the fight. So when they got this part about he walked around Vegas with me. That's absolutely false there. Now, if he was there, I didn't see him. He could have been there on another case. He was, I guess, around working with him. He could have been looking for somebody else other than me, you know. So, but it was all business, and I never met him. I seen him even there at the fight. And this trip they got off about me, Big Ed hitting him with a bottle. For what? Because I guess he was portraying one of the actors in it that I didn't get into the fight. I was the main one in the fight before they got into the fight. Clyde Drexler was there. I guess they had just won a championship. He was there in the same hotel that I was in, Tropicana Hotel. From Houston was there. Okay. He was just down there gambling because, you know, in Vegas, the drinks are free. Now, I don't know here about Michigan because I'm not really a casino guy, but in Vegas, everything was free. You know, the drinks, all that stuff was free. So he was down there just socializing with him a little bit down there. Only time we ran into Tommy was at the fight. Otherwise, he was just more or less concentrated. Just like when you're in a big fight, you can't concentrate on this person. You got to concentrate and put all your effort into this fight. This is a big fight you finna have with Marv Fitzhagler. You having a big fight. He ain't no joke. You got to concentrate on having that fight. So I guess he was a big Thomas Hearns, and everybody wanted to go to be behind their family, you know, be behind the crew. We all wanted to go down and say, well, okay, this is my homeboy Thomas Hearns, so we got to go down and see him. So we set that up, like say, months in advance before we went down to the Vegas fight. That was set up. The fact that the pool room, it was a pool room right there on Mack and McCullough. We used to come in there a lot sometimes. He was driving a yellow with a green Fleetwood green top on it back then. Tommy was. Right. The thing last night was kind of really way out of thing here with this Kevin Deitz. I'm not saying that he spent a lot of time, I guess, under the Worship family, and which is understandable. But wherever he was gathering, if he's a journalist, he should have dug a little deeper into. If I'm telling you something, you should dig deep into to see if it's true facts or whatever it is, especially with the situation about, they said they heard me on the phone, said, Rick, meet me over here or meet me there. That was totally false. Matter of fact, that situation came about when Rick was working on one of his customers' houses with the satellite thing that he was going on. And him and a few other fellas went back to that house that Rick was working at and broke in the house basically and got some stuff out of there. They got a gun out of there and brought the gun back to the house. And it was tussling, just playing with the gun, and the gun went off and shot Rick in the stomach. You know what I'm saying? Now, if that would have been just so that Johnnie made the call, why wouldn't the feds come in and say, y'all hear my phone stop, say, okay, well, Rick, we could take Johnnie off the street for the rest of his life just on attempted murder. Y'all never questioned anybody. They never brought nobody, no charges was ever brought against them, anything. Not head him shot, but accidentally shot him. They sued his insurance company for I think it was about $25,000. That's who they sued, the guy's insurance company, and that's where they got the money from. But they didn't get a phone call from Johnnie saying, meet me over here or this and that. That was all false.
So you didn't have Rick set up to be shot?
No, I mean, definitely. They went in a house. One of the houses that Rick, his father was doing, went back, broke in the house, and got this out, and a gun came up. And I guess they got a gun out of it, and they was tussling over gun. Just like, matter of fact, as Roy said, Roy Grissom, that was his right-hand man after I went away, said it was definitely false. It was tussling over a gun, kids over a gun, and the gun went off. Because if you could have took Johnnie down for the rest of his life, you didn't even need the drug case. You could have took me down for 40, 50 years just on attempted murder. Attempted murder carries just as much more than murder. So that was totally false there. And then the fact about him listening to me talking to Gil Hill, and at the time, I had already knew about the feds was on me. So why would I get on the phone and talk to Gil Hill in front of him? He was never really around me like that. He was mostly around my brother. I didn't get on the phone to talk to Gil and say, Gil, well, this happened and that happened. That's all totally false. So just to clarify things up there. That never happened. Back then when we had those car phones, you had to go through mobile operator just to get to the operator. They even had the bag phones where you put in a bag and they carry a big bag on your shoulder, and that's how you went through to get your phone calls. So there was no such thing as a speaker. Matter of fact, he wasn't around me at that time anyway. Maybe he might have been somewhere with my brother, but I didn't have to make a phone call to anything because I did nothing wrong to make a phone call to Gil and say this. Gil was just a friend of the family, of my wife's family. Real close with Juanita, Kathy's mother, real tight with Kathy.
He took a liking to you.
He took a liking to me. Regardless of the life that I was living, I never asked him for any favors. Nobody down at 1300 Bowie, anybody. I would go down sometimes and just want to say, well, let's have lunch, Gil. And I'd go down and we have lunch. But anything discussing anything in particular of that, in that direction about anything is totally false. Gil didn't even, he never, matter of fact, Rick never met Gil. He didn't even know Gil. Gil was more or less a professional homicide detective. That's what he was. So when he got to the part he heard me, come on now, you can't even use that in court when it say I heard if it ain't a true fact, a true thing, why didn't Kevin Deitz be able to get certain stuff? He's a journalist, so he should have been able to dig certain stuff up about Rick sued the insurance company. His daddy sued the insurance company. So they should have been able to dig this up before you just go to one man's story and listen to that side.
Oh, his father.